Today we're going to talk to Ariane, who, hi mom, is the founder of Hatch, which if you are pregnant or have had a baby, I'm sure you know of Hatch. They've also launched an amazing online community, which during the pandemic was really awesome. Hi, Bentley. And especially when I became a first-time mom, the Hatch community was also thriving and just something that I really paid a lot of attention to and found great community in. So we're going to talk to Ariane about that and just about being a working mom as well. So come on here. And if you don't know of Hatch and you are pregnant or thinking of getting pregnant, go find them. Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing well. Happy spring.
Happy spring. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm really excited because I'm a huge fan of Hatch and all things Hatch. So I'm really excited to chat with you just about how you came up with starting Hatch, but also just the importance of community, especially during COVID. I feel like you guys tapped into that very quickly, which was amazing.
I mean, we need each other, right? And what a great time. I'm back at you. I'm such a fan of yours and what you're doing and uniting us together and speaking today.
Awesome. I think the audio, I mean, at least for me, is a little bit glitchy, but maybe we'll see what happens. Why don't we go back to originally when you started Hatch, how that kind of all came to be? Because I think especially as a working mom, you do a lot on, being a working mom in the Hatch community. And I think it's helpful for people to know, especially how you balanced it all, but also how you just made it all happen.
Yeah. So can you hear me okay? Is that a little bit better? Okay. So I started Hatch when I was pregnant with my first daughter, Charlie, and I was really excited about this moment in my life. I was about to embark on this new journey, and I was looking around for a brand that could kind of lead and guide me and lead the way and show me what I was about to embark on. And I was just really surprised that nobody was speaking to me and that there weren't, people ahead of me ready to kind of take me and share with me what was going to happen to me, offer me solutions. And so I decided to start the business because if I was feeling lonely and in need of solutions, then I would imagine so many other women were feeling the same way. So I started Hatch really based on the premise that you can invest in yourself and buy pieces that make you feel better. And so I started with 12 key pieces, and the whole premise is that you can wear things before, during, and after. So you're investing pieces that go with you. You don't have to be pregnant, but you can wear them again after the pregnancy or before. And just feel like yourself, feel the same, not feel ostracized from society, and feel like you can put something on and smile and celebrate this amazing thing the journey that you're about to embark on.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I really loved about finding Hatch and being introduced to it. And my best friend Julie really talked to me a lot about it because she lives in Hatch clothing even when she's not pregnant. But it was really interesting to me because I feel like, as you were saying, like this whole community there wasn't that at all, and it is surprising. And also when even you look at maternity clothing, it really is slim pickings out there. So you guys obviously do such a great job at curating amazing pieces that take you kind of all the girls in the Hatch store here in Los Angeles always tell me that they're all grow with you pieces. So I think that that's such a beautiful kind of statement to go along with just the pregnancy journey in general. But I think also what's so cool about what you guys are doing is that it's more than just the key pieces that you originally started with. It's grown into a real community.
Honestly, I can tell you the truth. When I started the business, it was about selling clothes and connecting the dots and making women feel better. I had no idea that along the way, community would be such a critical pillar to what we're building and the most important piece of the brand. And so we have 3 locations. You just mentioned the one in LA. and then here 2 in New York. And we had the ability to kind of start events in our New York location to really bring girls in and kind of have them meet each other, have miscarriage conversations, have doulas, sleep experts, really just foster conversations and allow our community to learn things. And then when the pandemic hit, we had no choice but to digitize the events. And so we were able to offer this education to so many other women that weren't just in New York and LA, and really kind of all of a sudden this community just rose from our audience of people really connecting, learning more, thanking us for the addition of the information and the companionship that Hatch was offering them. And so that's really where my heart is right now. Like, we're always making beautiful things. We have a beauty line, we have a nursing collection, all those things. But what's so special is this community of women that have come together, and the fact that we know we're not alone. I mean, I had 2 miscarriages, and at the time, I didn't know who to talk to, and it was kind of taboo to speak about it. And now the conversation's open, and I'm just so proud that like we can foster that table and talk to each other and know that, you know, other people have been through the same thing and feel a little bit more comforted.
How did you guys do that though during COVID? Because obviously you had these in-person events pre-COVID, and then COVID happened and everybody was kind of left needing to pivot. But you guys, I felt like, because I was newly pregnant with my daughter, and I remember you guys pivoting very quickly and kind of launching this whole online community that, especially for me in a first-time pregnancy and then becoming a first-time mom, was really important and needed, because I felt so isolated because you didn't have that community that I think, you know, as women, we kind of think about when we get pregnant and what your pregnancy is going to be like, and seeing your friends and your family. And then at the beginning of COVID, especially, you didn't have any of that. So can you talk a little bit about just like what that was like to launch all of that in a pandemic, and also the success of the community being online?
Yeah, absolutely. So we had been thinking about the strength and the connection we were fostering in our stores prior to COVID. And so what the pandemic did was just make us kind of act a lot faster and thinking through how we can bring this information to more people. And so first and foremost, as a leader of the company, the most important thing was taking care of my team and making sure that everybody felt supported, and that the moms on the team, that they had the resources they needed, because obviously they were taking care of the children while they had to work, and we were kind of in crisis mode. And then it was so clear, well, next in line from my team is the women that we talk to in our community, and how can we be a resource for them? And so all of this just started to culminate into real motion of like, let's build this, let's build it fast, let's like kind of click into gear here so that we can get out there and make sure in this like accelerated isolation that Hatch is a partner and a friend. And so through these events, and my head of community, who's just fantastic, we brought all these experts together and utilized Zoom and technology to really get out there. And fortunately, our audience is really loyal. And so we started marketing our events, and we saw 25,000 RSVPs last year of people, women, coming to us to like hold hands and connect. And it's just incredibly powerful.
What's been like the biggest surprise that you have seen just in the community? I mean, as far as I'm sure the needs and wants have changed from the very beginning of COVID being an online community to what it is now, but were there any surprises or really fascinating parts of creating this online community that you got, as far as like responses from people of what they needed or what they desired?
Yeah, I mean, it's so fantastic to have a dialogue with your community, because you can learn from them what more we can provide and what they're looking for, not only in education and talks, but also in products. How else can Hatch help? What are you looking for? What do you need? Tell me about your beauty regimen and going clean. Can we educate you there? I mean, so many unlocks by just using the community as kind of a big focus group and talking to them. And so what was just so surprising to me was the appetite for these women, coming into one event and then are, coming into the next 4 events, and really allowing us to walk hand in hand with them on their journey. It was just mind blowing to me how well people responded to this and how quickly. And so that's why, now and moving forward, one of our huge business initiatives here is really to like figure out how community can be at the forefront of the brand even more so than it is today. So big surprise and huge, happy, opportunity ahead of us to mean more and be better, which is really cool.
Is there a specific topic that comes up or has come up more frequently than others? I mean, you guys cover everything from sleep to breastfeeding to birth to, you know, anxiety, isolation. Like there are so many different topics that you cover, but is there something that comes up or a specific topic that comes up that is kind of repetitive?
Yeah, I think our sleep training seminars are kind of like always oversubscribed, and people just love those. I mean, who doesn't want to learn how to get a good night's sleep? So those are super popular. I think lactation and nursing, you know, some of us are lucky enough to be able to nurse, some of us aren't, but just to know that your baby's going to be okay either way, and that we're all normal in any case, and that it's okay, and just what your options are. So lactation's a big one. I think the doula discussions are huge because, like, what is a doula? A lot of women just don't understand some of those connections. And so how we help educate kind of who can be by your side during delivery and the process. And again, we like kind of, we field the audience for, you know, what do you want to know more about? And then we cater a lot of the events to them. But definitely sleep training is like number one, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think the doula conversation is so fascinating because generations ahead of ours are very confused as to what doulas are, and also just how different the care is and the conversations are for pregnant people and also postpartum people, and just baby care and everything. Can you talk a little bit about just the whole doula subject in general? I was very lucky enough to be able to have a doula in my life when I brought my daughter home, but I think it is such a new subject and I think concept that we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, the options are open. That's the beautiful thing about today's world is women have options now of how they want to bring baby into the world and who they want by their side. You know, I think here in New York, we've seen some shifts in legislation, and we're seeing kind of some birthing centers close and some like unfortunate situations. But the beautiful thing is that having a doula by your side and being able to choose someone that you trust and who can like walk you through those options is a huge area of education that we're just so happy is opening up. And we partner with Carriage House Birth and a lot of these wonderful organizations to kind of educate and express how they can be helpful to women. And it's, you know, Babe by Hatch is our new content platform. So we kind of use that as a foundation where you can go and find out some of these resources and the events that we have so that women can come and educate themselves and learn more. But it's just amazing because, you know, I didn't have a doula in truth, and I regret it so much because I'm seeing through the eyes of my community and listening to stories like yours where it's just such a beautiful companion to have along the way. And I'm so grateful that more women are understanding that opportunity and taking advantage of it.
Let's talk about the launch of Babe, which is within the Hatch community, because I remember that launch. Can you talk just a little bit about how that happened and what that was like, especially as a working mom like yourself?
Yeah, I mean, it was just nuts. I always thought that like the conversation on some of these blogs was really interesting, some of it more scientific, a little bit more clinical. And then you have some of the more, you know, you have like The Cut and some New York Times parenting, like some of the more edgy conversations that you want to have. And there wasn't one place meshing those two together. And so I'm really inspired by where there's opportunity and there's not already something existing that I'm looking for. And so I felt like Babe was going to be this place to marry the, you know, the clinical and the advice, but also the girl to girl, like one glass of wine in conversation of like, what do I do? What happens if I don't like my husband anymore? Or like, what's happening here? Is this normal? Am I okay? And so Babe is really the platform for that. And it's been amazing. And it happened to have been in the works over like before the pandemic as well. It was an initiative that we were working on. So as COVID hit, we just sped it up and we launched it on Mother's Day of 2020, and the reaction to the community has been phenomenal. It's a separate site than Hatch, but it's conversational. It's offering not only great conversations with wonderful women that we're inspired by, but you know, registry lists, definitions of phrases that we've never heard of, doula connections. It's really fantastic, and it's kind of all these things coming together in one place. Again, just solidifying Hatch is more than just selling product and clothes, but being a brand that's thinking about women and trying to lend support and solutions across categories, including conversation.
Is there a specific space or category that when you connect with your community, whether it's on Babe or Hatch or doing virtual or even, I mean, in-person events now, is there a specific category that people feel like there is not enough support in specifically? I know you talked about obviously pregnancy loss, and that's a topic that I feel like is discussed much more openly and frequently now. But I just wonder, since you have such a big reach with moms and moms of all different phases and kinds, and also people who maybe aren't moms yet but are just interested in the mom space or fertility, is there a certain kind of area that you feel like needs more love and attention?
What's really interesting is the fourth trimester. So what happens to us as women after you have the baby? And everyone's so obsessed, and it's such a beautiful, amazing celebration to look at this newly created life, but often the woman and we're forgotten in that moment. Our bodies are raw, they're healing, we're emotional sometimes more than others. Our hormones are all over the place, and so the fourth trimester has been both a moment of conversation for us, but also an area for us to say, we've still got you. You've had the baby, but your body's repairing. So thinking through what you want to put on your body, what you want to wear when you're nursing, those moments of intimacy, and so the conversation around healing and what to expect. And because nobody really talks about it, it's almost like this black hole that like you're just supposed to get through, and most women kind of, I think, forget. But opening that door up a little bit and talking about what happens to us after the baby has been a real area of both conversation and product that has just we're trying to kind of diffuse any of the taboo hush hush about, because it does happen. It happens to all of us, and we shouldn't go forgotten, even though this baby is in our arms now.
Yeah, I mean, I remember looking on your website because I was getting the Hatch to Hospital kit that you guys sell, which I always give as a baby shower gift or just like a new mom gift, because it's very comfortable and also very useful. But when I saw the tab on your guys' website of like first, second, third trimester, and then fourth trimester, I was like, there's another trimester. And of course, seeing, what it really is, which is, of course, supporting the healing mother, and if you're breastfeeding, the breastfeeding mom, really comfortable clothing and practical clothing is, and also, good looking clothing, because you don't really want to focus on your appearance necessarily that much. But it is a space that we talk so much here on BDA Baby about, because it's a space that I feel like, as you just said, you have this baby there and everybody's really excited about the baby, but then it's kind of like, how do you support the mom in that?
Right. It's kind of like, when you have to put your oxygen mask on first so that you can take care of your child, right? Like we need to fulfill and fill where we need first, so that we can give that love and that energy and that strength to the baby. And so hand holding and just making sure women know that they're still heard and that someone's listening, and that also what's happening is normal. That's the crazy thing about motherhood is there's no, in my eyes, in my opinion, there's no playbook. There's no perfect chapter to read. Like there's no perfection at all. And it's all okay. Any which way we go about it, as long, from my perspective, if you love and you care, you're going to be all right. And so it's the fourth trimester, I think, is just a real area of letting women know that it's all okay, and it's going to be okay.
Yeah, and I think for postpartum, like everybody's experience is so dramatically different,
Yep.
Especially with the hormone shift. And we've heard, of course, previously so much about postpartum depression, but I feel like especially during the changing times of COVID, there's so much more that goes along with that, as far as postpartum anxiety, postpartum isolation, and then of course the whole subject of healing and nursing and how you choose to feed your child. I'm sure that's a big subject that comes up a lot for you guys.
It is. And, we try not to get too, at Hatch, we don't infer our opinions too strongly. We don't really have opinions. It's about supporting women to follow what they want to do, what you want to do as a woman, and just be supportive there. But there are so many choices to make and questions we have. And to what you just said, our bodies all react differently. So it's just kind of, there's no playbook for it. And it's just about making sure that you can be heard and that you have people to talk to. And so that's been our priority, is to make sure that conversation is open.
What can we be doing better to support moms in their fourth trimester or uh, kind of that new chapter of their life? I mean, of course, there are great things at Hatch to be getting for moms at that period of their life. But what do you think, or what do you see us doing better that we can be advising people when it comes to the fourth trimester?
I mean, first and foremost, for working moms, I just think really supporting the maternity leave and allowing women to take the space to be a mom and to get used, to adjust to this new phase of life is really important. So we do everything we can to stand by that and to make sure that other companies are committed to that. And it's just not easy. I think in the pandemic, what women had to go through just now to manage both life and their kids at home without childcare is just, it's just really, it was sad. It was a setback for us, but we're getting back on our feet. And I think, again, opening up the conversation, I think one of the silver linings of social media is that you can tune into conversations like this and you can see what other people are asking in questions and you have access. And so continuing to make sure that women know the resources around them to ask these questions, and then to know that people are fighting for our rights and that we're actually, we're on the front line really trying to make change so that this time is given to women to adjust to this next phase and be able to understand the support that they're going to need to kind of be successful as a mom and run their life.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I think, you guys also talk a lot about when it comes to the fourth trimester is not only maternity leave care, but also just the care that we don't have a lot of when it comes to the postpartum care for women in America, whether that's pelvic floor PT, whether that's just even like talking about any of that or checking in on moms or checking in on their mental health, their emotional health, physical health. Do you guys see a lot of that and a need for a lot more support in that space?
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's, I'm going to be quite candid with you. Like, I would love to only be able to focus on this space and to give more and more. And my team is, day by day increasing and understanding like where we need to be listening and playing. It's just, there's just so much, right? There's so much opportunity for us to be a better community and be better to each other, and then also running the business at the same time, right? So there's just and it's a lot of understanding which direction our community can go in, but the opportunity for more resources there and for us to be heard and what women need during the fourth trimester is gigantic. And so we're figuring out kind of Hatch's role in getting us there, because it's certainly top of mind, and women are now saying like, I need this, I need help. And how can we?
How do you, and we'll wrap it up, but how do you balance all that you have going on and make sure to be a present mother? I feel like always like a common question that people are constantly asking when it comes to, talking to people like yourself who have obviously built really successful companies and brands and are also moms, and just managing the guilt factor there, but also just the overwhelming feeling of being spread too thin.
Yeah, I wish I had a magic answer, but I don't. I'm actually, my daughters are a little bit older. My youngest is 7 now, and I'm not gonna lie, I have a lot of regrets because I was working so hard during a lot of her younger years, and the pandemic allowed me to slow down a little bit and catch up, which was really awesome. And I don't have any regrets because Hatch is my baby, and I love to work, and so it's just it's a very big part of my life, and I love to feel inspired. But I was also able to slow down a little bit and appreciate the moments that we know are fleeting and that they're going away. And so right now, a big initiative in our company is really the work-life balance and designing the roles so that we can be moms and we can be successful businesswomen, and we can have that opportunity to do both. And it's kind of that relationship and that agreement between me as a founder and an owner of a company and the team that like it's really important to us. So a shift in our values, because that it's really, I don't want anyone to have any regrets, and it's never too late to catch up. Like I swear by that. but we make choices sometimes, and sometimes not all of us have those choices to make, and we have to work. And so I really just try and design time and put down my phone and just create that space so I can be with the girls directly, and they know that I'm present. And now that they're older, they come with me to work, and they're pretty psyched that mom runs, you know, this company. And so some of the values that I hope I've instilled in them as a working mom, I think are starting to pay off, because I'm hopeful that they're excited about whatever they're going to want to be in life. But not going to lie, there's definitely been moments of regret that I've missed some of these sweet spots.
Yeah, I'm sure. But I mean, you seem to be doing an amazing job. And I think that it's always a learning experience from what I'm
Like,
Thank you so much for taking the time to chat today. I'm such a huge fan, love all of your guys' stuff. And I think that what you guys are doing, especially with your online community and putting such emphasis on the importance of community for moms and women and just families in general, is so awesome. So thank you so much for taking the time today.
thank you, and feel good. So much love. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.